Hey guys, so on Wednesday, I was holding a seminar at the Sign Institute at American University, where I'm a fellow, with a former Biden White House official, Michael LaRosa. He worked in the press shop for Dr. Jill Biden. Well, he admitted something that I had never heard someone from the Biden administration say out loud. Take a listen to this video. There's a new book that just came out. It is called Original Sin. It's by Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson. And the book premise is that it's an unsparing look at Biden's, quote, decline, its cover up, and his disastrous choice to run again that led to a campaign of, quote, gaslighting and denial. Because you work so closely with the family and Jill Biden, do you think this is an accurate representation of what happened in 2024?
Cover up, to me, is a little hard, a little harsh. Every politician, everybody, every human being tries to cover up age. We were always, from day one, cognizant that age was an issue.
Would you say it was self-interest?
There are some things that are true. I mean, like the gaslighting, there was a lot of denial of the polling. And I will use the term gaslight because that's what they were doing. The campaign, former colleagues, the message to everybody was to make sure that you tell people it's too early. It's too early. These polls don't mean anything. Well, it became too early, and these polls don't mean anything for about a year and a half. The numbers never moved.
Right.
And but by denying the data that was out there publicly, by denying the really insightful journalism that, they were actually demeaning a lot of the people, but it was the data denial that really bothered me, because we loved polling when we were running,
Right.
because we were always ahead. All of a sudden, because they're always behind, the polls are meaningless, and we're attacking the New York Times. They did do a lot of gaslighting of people, and I think if you were watching MSNBC, you probably believed them, and were probably pretty shocked. But if you were consuming information, consuming data, and looking at it objectively, and trying to interpret it and process it objectively, then none of it was surprising.
Okay, can I just ask you bluntly?
Sorry. I'm not trying to
Were
flash
you concerned about him running for re-election in 2024?
Yes, and I'll say this. When I got to the White House on day one, it became pretty clear to me. I think I went in, first of all, I was just happy to be there, excited. I used to drive my boss home every night, my chief of staff, because we lived in the same building. And I remember him saying something about, oh, well, that's after the re-elect. That's a second term thing. I said, wait, what? Because I think
you believe the bridge.
I think, well, it wasn't that I believed the bridge. It was just that I just assumed, kind of like Barack Obama probably assumed he was picking Biden, knowing or thinking he wasn't going to run again. I kind of thought, in 2020, 2021, that this was going to be like, okay, we're going to pass the torch to another generation of Democrats and let them handle a Trump 2.0 campaign. But I was brought to reality pretty fast. Like,
but why not?
Why wouldn't he run?
Yeah, why not?
It was, why wouldn't he? And I'm like, well, because it felt like in 2020 that we barely won the nomination, that Democrats were kind of not yearning for Joe Biden. They were kind of either stuck with him, or they were eating their vegetables and saying, he's our best shot, not a socialist from Vermont. He's our best shot. We're comfortable with him. He's competent. He's earned a lot of goodwill. And ultimately, the problem with deciding to run for re-election again was a misread of our mandate.
This is crazy, because I've never heard a Biden official admit that their colleagues were gaslighting the public. He had some other great things to say about how Biden wanted to be in front of the press, but it was his team that tried to stop him. We had some technical issues with the main feed, so the following clips are just from a phone, but take a listen for yourself.
The president's team was scared to death of impromptu, unscripted, unrehearsed, unpracticed, unchoreographed, anything. They couldn't compete for the attention economy. They just couldn't do it. They didn't have any idea, and they didn't have the vessel, either in Biden by the way, who would have done anything. He loves TV. He loves doing stuff. It was the orbit that did not trust their own candidate. Biden needed the press, and when he needed them the most, they didn't trust him. They didn't give him the benefit of the doubt. And they put their foot on the gas and never took it off. And he was politically dead and won.